Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about my Vipassana meditation experience. Layla introduced me to the meditation a couple of years ago. She was actually there when we found out that we were pregnant with Adriana. She had missed her period and actually couldn't even say anything because it's a silent meditation. And so when she got back, she did the pregnancy test and we found out that we were pregnant. So I was able to go then afterwards. I went in August a couple of years ago. And I'm here today to talk to you about it. So the meditation center is located in Egbert, Ontario, which is about 45 minutes north of Toronto. It's a 10-day silent meditation, and they teach you the method to do the Vipassana meditation. First of all, the setting is so beautiful, and it's apt for meditation. It's a very tranquil location and very quiet. It's very impressive because the entire place that was built up through donation only. So they have a male quarters, a female quarters, plus they have dining halls for male and female, and also a meditation hall, and all of those places, plus maintenance and electricity and all that stuff, is all maintained through donations only. So it's so nice to see that people see the benefit of the meditation and are willing to give money to allow others to experience this as well. So that's one thing that really made me feel a little more open to this experience, and it kind of led credence to the actual meditation techniques. The Vipassana course was created by Goenka, and his teacher was Kin. It basically follows the meditation that Gautama Buddha practiced. And of course, the schedule was developed by teachers along the way, and so this is now the formulation of Goenka. So the daily schedule is very challenging. The morning bell is at 4 a.m. and then there's meditation from 4:30 to 6:30 in either your room or you can do it in the meditation hall. Followed by light breakfast. There are 3 one-hour group meditations. The first one is from 8 to 9. Then you have another few hours of meditation on your own, followed by lunch. And then another group meditation from 2:30 to 3:30, followed by more meditation on your own, and then night meditation is from 7 to 8. And then after that you have 1 hour and a bit video filmed by Goenka, who talks about the technique, talks about how to maximize your outcomes, and basically like a teacher's discourse. So it was very interesting. He's a very funny man, and he makes a lot of funny jokes, but very enlightening when you watch them. And it's actually interesting. You can watch them on YouTube. I think the effect is not the same when you watch it outside of the meditation hall, because you do understand some of the jokes and some of the things that he's saying because you're experiencing them. But definitely, if you want to check them out, you can see them on YouTube, and I'll post a link to the first one so you can watch it if you're interested. And then after that, you can meditate on your own, and then the lights out at 9:30. So it is a challenging schedule to follow, but after a while, you get used to it. So the way the course is set up, it's a 10-day course. The first 3 days, you do Anapana. And what that is basically a breathing exercise. What you do is you focus your attention on this part of your nose and just feel the natural breath coming in and out. So you close your eyes, close your mouth, and you're breathing in and out of your nose. And the reason for this is to prime the mind to start feeling subtler and subtler sensations. So I remember when I first started, just breathing in and out, I was focusing on that area and actually didn't even feel the breath coming in and out. And then all of a sudden, you start feeling it, and then you start feeling more subtle sensations. So I started feeling the breath coming in and out, like from the inside of my nose. I don't know how to explain that. Not like the lip area, I guess. It was from higher up, and I could just feel air rushing in and rushing out. And I guess perhaps I was feeling the air touching the hairs or whatnot. And then after a while, I was getting better and better at feeling it. I was feeling actually even my heartbeat in my nose. It was really weird. I say this to some people and they're like, what are you talking about, your heartbeat in your nose? But really, like, I could feel my heart beating in my nose. I don't know what to say. It's exactly what happened. I remember how frustrating it is because you think about meditation, you think, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and clear your mind, and you close your eyes and you take one breath, and then all of a sudden, boom, your mind is flying in 1,000 different places, having thoughts about, oh my God, this, and sitting in this position is making my legs hurt, and your mind is just jumping everywhere. And so you're trying to bring it back and focus on your breath, and you're thinking to yourself, like, I can't believe how crazy my mind is. I can't even do this simple task of focusing on my breath, and my mind keeps on jumping everywhere. So it really is like a monkey mind. It's jumping all over the place, and you're training it to sit still and pay attention to just your natural breath. So after the 3 days of Anapana, you're taught the Vipassana technique. And what it is basically body scanning. So you've primed your mind now with the Anapana to feel very, very subtle sensations. And what you do afterwards is then you start at a certain area in your body, and you go through every single part of your body or certain areas of your body and trying to feel sensations. It could be as simple as like if you could feel your clothes touching your skin, that is a sensation. So it starts at top of your head, and I think it's facial area, back of the head, and then you start at shoulder, upper arm, lower arm, hands, and then the other side, shoulder, upper arm, lower arm, hands, torso, back, and then you go through your legs, each one, and then you come back in reverse. And that's what you do basically for the entire hour meditation. You're just body scanning and observing sensations that are happening within those certain areas. And it's initially very difficult. You don't know, like you kind of ask yourself, okay, was that a sensation? I don't know. And that was my first couple of questions to the teacher. Like, I don't know what a sensation is. I had to kind of get an explanation of what do you mean by sensation. So when he answered, he just said, look, if you have to ask yourself that sensation or not, it's basically a sensation, because you're asking yourself, like, what was that? Even if it's something that's very small and subtle. And your mind actually starts adapting and getting sharper and sharper at identifying sensations. So after a while, it was like little flashes like going through my body. Like if I was sitting there and I'm thinking about my arm, I could feel like a little, like I kind of explain it, like a flash that went through my arm. I'm like, okay, that's a sensation in the lower arm, so it'll go onto your hands. And then even if it was like a change in temperature that I felt in my hand, that's a sensation. And so you go and you say, okay, check, and you go on to the next body part. So as I got better and better at it, I was able to flow very quickly through my body. And so I was, scanning up the top of my head to the bottom of my feet and back within, a few minutes. Whereas the first couple times, it took me basically the whole hour to get from the top of my head back to the top of my head. So through my entire body and back to the top of my head, it almost took me like 45 minutes because, you're struggling to find a sensation, I guess, and they're not there, and your mind is not primed yet to actually feel it. So, but definitely as I got more experience with the technique, I was able to flow. It was awesome, actually. I remember one point, like my arm, I could feel the sensation. It was basically, I followed the sensation all the way down my arm to my hand, and then I could follow it right back up. So it was like really something that was moving within my body. It was such an awesome experience. The whole point of this is just to be able to observe the sensations that are happening in your body, but with no judgment. If it's a pleasant sensation or an unpleasant sensation, you just observe it, and you observe the nature of the sensation. What their nature is that they arise, they stay for a while, but they eventually go. So one of the painful sensations is obviously sitting in the lotus position. So it was hard for me. I don't have very good flexibility. So definitely when I first learned it, I think on the third day when they teach you the body scanning technique, you have to sit in the lotus position for like 2 hours or something like that, or an hour and a half. And it was very challenging because I could, after say 20 minutes, my knees started hurting, my hips started hurting. And then what I said to myself, I'm like, I'm going to focus on the pain. I'm going to see where the pain is on my knee. And I just put my mind there and watched the pain, I guess. And you know what? It actually did exactly what he said. It rose and I felt the pain, but then eventually it just went away. And I was able to handle the unpleasant sensations much better. So by the 7th day, I was able to request a private room to get deeper into the meditation. So I really started feeling really good about my meditation. I felt like, again, that flowing thing, like it was going through my body. And then getting a private room. Private rooms are also there. They're there for the older students, but the newer students can request them. So I requested a private room, and it's basically a closet. It was a small closet, very dark, and you go in there and you can get a chair if you want. You can get whatever. They have pillows and these little back supports to sit on. And I just got a chair actually, and I exactly kind of like this. That's when I really started getting really much deeper into it, and that flowing was really very quick. And I felt like, when you get goosebumps, I started feeling the goosebumps like all the way down my leg, like going down my leg and then coming back up and then going down the other leg. And so knew that I was, I guess, progressing in my meditation technique. The point of it is, again, to get your mind to be able to observe sensations but not react to them. And I guess how that works practically is to observe yourself while you're in the world. So observing your reactions to anything, whether it's a good thing, sensation, or bad sensation. So for instance, if something goes wrong at your home or your workplace, and there's a misunderstanding and people's emotions are rising. So you just observe the fact that this is what's happening, there's a situation, my emotions are what they are. You observe them, you watch them rise, they stay for a while, but eventually they're going to go away. You're not going to be angry forever, you're not going to be happy forever, you're not going to be sad forever. So it's a way to then, instead of reacting to situations, you get to respond to them with mindfulness. While you are not meditating, you're just walking around, you're enjoying nature, and what happens is that you start getting flooded with all these memories of things that were painful or joyful. I thought about my grandfather and how much he influenced me, and I remember, I think it was on the 6th or 7th day, I was just sitting there and realizing how much of an effect he had on me and my personality, and I just started crying because I miss him so much, and it was just a beautiful, wonderful experience to feel that again, to say, the appreciation that I had for how much he did for me. As a child, you have your parents and your grandparents, and they influence you so much. But then you also have that indirect influence. You don't even notice that it's happening because it's just something that you're observing, and then all of a sudden you start doing yourself. I think it's stuff like Adriana does, and I'm more shocked as well when we're doing something, and then all of a sudden I see Adriana doing the exact same thing, which she literally just picked it up by just observing. And so that moment was really touching, and I remember that clearly. Another one was, and it was really funny, memories started coming up that I thought they didn't bother me, but I guess they did. I was thinking about something that happened in Egypt on one of the last months I was there. There was an unfortunate misunderstanding with my landlady, and they basically broke into my apartment when I was gone and stole things from mine, like cash, and I had an icon my mom got me. It was gold-plated, and pictures and my computer, and that was just an unfortunate incident. And I remember at the time that I don't even know how I was quite calm in the whole situation when we had to confront them. I guess it was very emotional for me, and either I buried the emotion or I didn't fully confront it at the time. And I remember when I was sitting in the bed and just lying down and thinking, all of a sudden this emotion of rage and anger came over me, and I didn't even realize that I was that angry about it. And it's been, so many years that it's happened, but I guess I hadn't really had any closure. So it helped me really get over that whole situation. You start looking at it in a different manner. From my perspective, the only thing I can do is forgive and let go of the situation, regardless of who was right, who was wrong, because at the end of the day, if I hold on to that baggage, it's going to affect me, regardless of, again, who was at fault, and whether I feel like reparations have been made, whether I feel vindicated by the situation. All that aside, if I hold on to that baggage, that's baggage I have to carry on for the rest of my life, and it affects my mood, affects my behavior, affects my outlook, my way I interact with other people. So it's better to always confront the situation, have some sort of resolution, whatever it may be, and then end it there and then go on with your life. So after the 10 days, you have to come back home and then reintegrate into the real world. And it was challenging because you now see things in a completely different way, and you start getting overstimulated. And I remember the first few days I actually had really bad headaches because I was just becoming overstimulated. But eventually, you get back into the groove of things. And if you continue your practice, you really do see the benefits. That's the most important thing, I think, that you can't just go to a 10-day meditation course and then say, okay, I'm great at 10 days and that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. You really have to maintain your practice. So before Adriana, I was able to continue with 1 hour meditation per day. And now I only do half an hour every day. And I still find it beneficial. I still find myself getting better and better. It's a slower progress because in those 10 days you do such a quick progress, but now I find it's a really slow progress. But at the same time, I'm also practice it during every day. So I'm still continuing to practice it, but I'm practicing it during my drive, during class, while I'm home making dinner. You just practice mindfulness. You feel the knife cutting through the vegetables that you're cutting. You sit down and you mindfully eat, for instance, so you feel the sensations of all those, the tastes and the flavors that you're having. And it's something that we're doing with Adriana. We ask her to, smell what she's eating, not just start, shoveling it in her mouth, but actually smell it and feel the texture of it and then taste it. So I think that really she's starting to appreciate it. And it's really funny because we have like essential oils and she'll like open them up and then she smells them and then she like gives them to me to smell and gives them to Layla to smell. So it's really interesting that she is understanding that there's smells associated with things, not just objects, inanimate objects that don't have other qualities to them. So I really hope that you've enjoyed the video and you've gotten a little bit more information about it. I think that it's a fantastic technique. It really does get deep inside you and it gets to the root causes of a lot of pain that has set into individuals and allows you to get that out. So he's describing it as breaking open a wound and making sure you get the poison out, and then after that allow it to heal. So as I said, I hope that I've piqued people's interest. If you've done it, I'd love to hear about your experience. If you haven't, please check it out, sign up, try it. I know it's really challenging. You have to be silent for 10 days, so you're not talking to anybody except for the teacher if you have questions. But if you are willing to try it out, I think it's really beneficial and you really will get a lot out of it. For me, as I talk to other people about it, I really tell them it was like a life-changing experience, something that has shifted the way that I will interact with the world. This is the way now that I want to be as a person. It's no longer the way I was. I can't go back to that anymore after having experienced that. I see the world in a different way, and it really has opened up my eyes and helped me to be more compassionate, more understanding, and more patient. So I really, really am happy about having done that experience. I'll leave all the links I mentioned below, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, have a good day.